bro. Joel, he should be giving me a favourite shot.
I swear you thought
Junior boys squad thing.
yeah.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome into this, the final day of the Unsquashable Premier League. And we do have 4 exciting matches for you. First of all, we have the Consolation, we have the late 3rd and 4th playoff, and then the grand final as well. All here at SquashXL, and all brought to you on the PSA YouTube as well. So great to have everybody who's already tuned in, and for those who join us along the day as well, feel free to leave a comment on the PSA YouTube. Now, joining me at the moment is Chileshe, and Tim, you're through in the grand final against your mate, your roommate, your flatmate, your squash mate, Joel, and you guys going to be playing again for the umpteenth time. But yeah, I mean, still great to be in the final. You've had a couple of good matches, haven't you?
Yeah, it's been good to get a few matches under my belt, especially this early on. So it's awesome. Yeah, it'll be a fun match against my roommate and pretty much my brother, second brother, Joel Arscott. So I'm really looking forward to it. Yeah.
No, that's good. No, this particular match, well, we're seeing Glenn Templeton. He is the New Zealand under-19 champ, up against Jack Conder, who is still 17 years old. He's from the Titirangi club here in Auckland. For Glenn, he is from the Kati club in the Bay of Plenty in Auckland, in the North Island. And both of these players, as we said, teenagers here, haven't had the best tournament result-wise, but as we said, this is the first time that any player has got on the court for a tournament for 7-8 weeks. It'll be interesting to see how they go here, because I know you won in 5 games over Anthony Lepper, but it wasn't your best game, was it?
No, it wasn't. And I think everyone's sort of getting better and better as we go on through each match. So yeah, I think we can expect a good one here today, even though these guys haven't had the best results so far.
Yeah, I mean, it's first time you get out there. There's 3 more weeks of tournaments, so you know you expect to be a little bit rusty when it comes to the real tournament play, don't you?
Yeah, definitely. I think there's a lot of nerves out there too as well, seeing as this is just the first one. But yeah, we're well underway now, so it should be a goodie.
With both of these players, we know that Jack is very intense on the court, and we know that Glenn sometimes looks a little lethargic, but because he's a big guy. He is very tall, but he gets to move around the court a lot, and he's got some powerful shots. Also, for all the players, it's not that you're saving yourself, but you're working your way into squash. You don't want to get too injured or any injury.
Yeah, exactly. He's got quite a big frame for a squash player, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Myself included, actually, so I know how hard it is for him to really get down.
So great to have everybody just tuning in now, and as we said, we do have 4 matches over this afternoon in New Zealand, and hopefully for the people around the rest of the world, great to have you joining, and feel free to let us know where you are around the world as well. We've certainly had a number of viewers yesterday. I think there was Luxembourg, Canada, United States. There was your brother coming in from Manchester as well, Tim.
Yep. From the UK.
Yeah, so he's up there, and he made some comments about your match. And then Paul Cole out of the Netherlands making some comments about your match as well. So great to have supporters there. Also, for people wondering that you are allowed to play squash in New Zealand. We're at what we call level 2, and squash is allowed. You're also allowed to have gatherings of around 10 people. So that is one of the reasons that we've been able to play competitive squash. Anything particular that you think will happen in this match? I mean, they're both very attacking players, aren't they, Tim?
Yeah, they are. I think Glenn's a little bit more attacking, so I think Jack's going to try and have to contain him here, keep him in the back and really wait for those loose ones to try and put them away. I think he'll be trying to make it as long as possible, really. So I think you'll see some long rallies in this match, especially in this first game. Joel's first call there as the referee.
Exactly, yeah.
And mark it.
Yeah, exactly. You know, we get everybody to do everything here. You've got to be good at multitasking. You've got to clean up after yourself. Of course, there is health and hygiene regulations as well for everybody playing. And also you can't have a crowd. It's quite strange being in this venue without a crowd, or at least coaches and friends and family, isn't it?
Yeah, the atmosphere is just a little bit off, isn't it?
Well, we never know. In the next couple of weeks, there's running and puts it away.
Great rally.
But in the next couple of weeks, there's the government is going to come along with potentially level 1, which may mean we could have some.
Yeah.
We'll wait and see what happens.
What are the numbers for that?
Well, it's in 2 weeks apparently, and I don't exactly know what it means.
Yeah,
We'll see.
not yet, but we'll see. That could be quite cool for the atmosphere in this place.
Yeah.
Getting a few supporters, coaches included.
Well, in this match, a lot of hard hitting so far. We haven't seen too many drops, have we?
No, we haven't. I think Jack's just trying to move Glenn around as much as possible in the back areas at the moment. Trying not to open up the court too often.
So, Tim, would you expect someone of the size of Glenn Templeton to play forward more or back? Because, I mean, you don't want to get cramped up by the ball coming out your body all the time, but would you expect him to be more of a forward or back player when you're got such a big range?
I think I would expect him to be more of a forward player. Do you mean in terms of his shot? Yeah, I think I'd expect him to be more of a... I think he is more of a front player. He likes going to the front as much as possible. I think he likes dominating the tee, so he doesn't quite have to move as much. So I think you'll see him trying to move the ball around as much as he can. He's got a great trickle boast in the front. I think viewers will start to see that come out in the later stages of this game.
Well, both players just feeling their way into the match, and as we're midway through or near the end of the first game already. It is the afternoon here and relatively warm outside, so that does help with the players on court. It will cool down a little bit as New Zealand starts heading into winter, although Auckland's never really that cold. Well, the umpire here, Joel Arscott, he's quite keen on the strokes, isn't he?
He is. Not many lets being called, is there?
No, I don't think we've had a let yet. He's, it's really interesting when a player gets behind the umpire's mic and just what they do there.
Yeah.
So first game, 11-7 there to Jack Conder over Glenn Templeton. We'll be back with the second game very shortly. Great to have Chileshe with me as he gets ready for his final, which is the last match of the day. That'll be around about 5:15 New Zealand time, which is 6:15 a.m. UK time. So make sure you're around for that, or tell your friends to tune in. Back very shortly.
Who said what? One of the comments over there. Do we need Fatialofa to interpret? We might need a bit of help with that one. Yes. Johnson.
coaching before, haven't you? Yeah.
What did it tell me that?
And welcome back for this, the second game of the first match. It is the Consolation final, featuring Glenn Templeton in the blue against Jack Conder in the white. And for one of the comments that's come through saying that Glenn Templeton is the boss baby, you might want to evaluate on that, as long as it's not offensive. That'd be really great to hear. Tim, you're curious about what boss baby means?
Yeah, I'm quite curious. I feel like I've heard it before, but can't quite put a finger on it.
Well, we'll maybe find out. Hopefully it is clear. So feel free to enlighten us on that, and feel free to leave any comments. This is game one of the finals day of the first week of the tournament here, and great to have you tuning in. The second match that we'll have will be Leo Fatialofa. He has a world ranking of 380 up against Michael Shelton-Agar. And in this match, Glenn Templeton is the player with the ranking, 357 PSA ranking at the present time. Whereas Jack Conder doesn't have a world ranking at the moment. He's still 17 years old. Mind you, Glenn Templeton's only 18, so it's not like they're both very old.
It's good seeing the underdog take out the first game. So it looks like we'll have an exciting match in our hands for the first match this evening.
So Tim, how would you describe the style of Glenn Templeton? What's his key?
He's got very good deception, and he's very tall, so when you put it in his volley range or anything quite mid-height, he's very attacking. So I think you've either got to play very high or very low to try and keep it out of his volley areas.
And what about the style of Jack Conder?
I think he's a very aggressive player, so I think you've got to. It's quite hard to contain him. So he's really good at just really picking balls up and trying to sort of dominate that pace and set the pace for the match. So I think Glenn's going to try and break up his rhythm a bit.
Oh, nice shot. Good running there to retrieve.
Oh, a wee frame there from the underdog Jack Conder.
Indeed. All right, well, we've got an explanation. Boss Baby is an animated movie, and the main baby's last name is Templeton. There you go.
Yeah.
We've all learned something. Might be the only thing we learned today. Thank you very much there for that.
It's a good length there from Templeton. I think Jack's doing a very good job of reading the game. I think Glenn's trying quite hard to break up his movement, but not quite able to do so yet.
Well, we certainly aren't losing all corners of the court at the moment. It's one of those rallies. We've been front, we've been back.
Yeah,
Forehand, backhand.
I think that's what Glenn likes to do as well.
Great retrieving. Nice.
Ooh.
Some great retrieving there by Jack Conder, and certainly all corners of the court covered there by both players.
I think that would have to be the longest rally of the match so far.
Yeah, a couple of loose shots in there, but I don't think it matters with both of these players, because with Jack you're going to get the odd loose shot.
Yes, you are.
You know, and it comes off, it looks great.
Quite, yeah. So I think Glenn's starting to dominate some of these rallies a bit more.
Interesting with the backhand of Glenn Templeton, a lot of the time it's almost like a left-handed cricket shot where he plays it quite a way out in front.
Yeah.
It's almost a forward drive or a block. I don't know how you
Yeah.
would describe it.
I think that's where he really gets his deception on that backhand.
Yeah. And now we have John Duggan online as well, using all sorts of language. He's probably younger than what he'd normally use as well. Neither player really focusing on one side, like playing down the backhand side. It really is.
Quite a random match so
Yeah.
far, yeah.
Yeah. You get some players, and I expect that might be you and Joel in the final, who will probably have long backhand rallies
Yeah, I think
until someone gives that inch to
that loose
switch
shot,
it.
yeah. I think we both like our backhand side as well, so we'll see some
How much do you focus on forehands and backhands? Most people, their backhand is slightly weaker.
Yeah.
Do you put a lot of focus on your backhand to try and make it stronger?
Yeah, I think I do, because it's definitely harder to get that power from your backhand swing in comparison to your forehand. So I think if you do have a dominant backhand and your forehand's just good enough, then I think you can really hurt some players. It's just a way to get out of trouble, really. Just trying to get to the other players' backhand. I think you see some of the top players do that quite well with their lobs.
What about playing against left-handers? There's not many of them at the top in New Zealand, is there?
No, there's Evan. Evan's the highest
he's
New
it?
Zealand player that's left-handed, yeah. So yeah, I think there's a lot more cross courts when you play a left-hander, because you're both trying to cross court to each other's backhand. So there's not too many drive rallies.
So you're talking about Evan Williams there, the New Zealand Commonwealth Games player, and at the moment certainly the best domestic player in New Zealand, lives out of Wellington, coaches out of Wellington.
Yeah, I think might have won 2 satellites so far this year.
Yeah, he was in the Auckland Open final as well, and then he won Henderson and also I believe there was Whakatane as well.
Whakatane, yeah, that's the one. Yeah, did really well to make the final of that 6K USA at Auckland Open.
Yeah, they've been doing a lot of coaching in Wellington and the Hutt Valley. And he's been in a number of finals as well at the national champs. So Templeton with the game ball here.
Glenn not quite able to take advantage of that first game ball. Let's see if he can use the second one. Tricky serve there from Jack, trying to catch Glenn out. Quality rally here.
Nice. Oh, good pick up. Oh, just about took him out as well.
There's that trickle boast that Glenn loves to do. It's a great shot.
There you go, that game going to Glenn Templeton, and 11-6 to get one back after the dive from Jack Conder. We saw a couple of those from Anthony Lepper yesterday, and he did one against you in the match, and he was up on his feet straight away. I was like,
Yeah.
quick.
See, some players are really good at getting up from their dives, eh? Jack was one just there, but Glenn's shot just too good in the end.
Back with the third game of this, the first match of the finals day of the Unsquashable Premier League very shortly.
Cheeky dive. Flag that one.
All right, Squash World and people listening, we have a question for you. Where does the word boast come from? Because we've just been talking about it. We're thinking of almost a cooler word to use. You know, we're into cool stuff right now. We've been using boss baby, and yesterday Leo Fatialofa was using words that some of us have never heard of. What's another phrase for boast, and where did it come from? There you go. Someone, I've got an idea, and we've heard versions. Give us an idea about boast, and give us an idea of another word we could use. Here you go. That's your question for the day.
Great line hitting there from Jack in that first point. Had to point that one out.
And we're at 1 game apiece, with the first one going to Jack Conder 11-7, the second to Glenn Templeton 11-6. Shot. Good touch. That was almost that, the forward backhand shot where the racket's so far in front, it gives you perhaps a bit of extra time before the other player knows what you're doing.
Yeah.
He really does do that a lot.
Just noticed he goes over the top of the ball quite a lot on his backhand, doesn't he? Just because his racket's so far out in front. It's quite effective.
Oh, there we go.
Guess his 3-all boast Nick that he loves to do.
Yeah.
Staying really high up the court on that one. See, the pace has come up in this third game, hasn't it?
It has. What about the grip on the racket for you, Tim? Because a lot of players, maybe not so much between these two, move their grip. It's not around the grip, but move up the grip and hold the racket quite a way up.
Yeah.
Almost to the neck or the throat of the racket. Others like to hold it down for yourself. Are you sort of middle, or do you move it during the match?
I have quite a low grip, but when it's quite tight in the back, I tend to just slide my racket down and try and slide my hand out to try and dig those balls out if I'm trying to drive or boast. But yeah, a lot of players actually change their grip on the forehand and backhand side. So it's interesting, yeah, to say that. We've got a great angle for that shot, but I couldn't even tell it was that tight. Some good body serves there from Glenn. So some interesting serves from both players today.
Yeah, it's a good bit of variety. I mean, this might not be your textbook game in terms of strokes, but what we're seeing is some good running by Jack. That's Jack Conder there in the white, and Glenn Templeton showing a good bit of variety to his game as well.
Yeah, yeah. I think a lot of people find Glenn Templeton quite unorthodox, quite hard to read, but Jack's actually doing quite well here.
And good to have some people, some viewers, giving their thoughts on whether a ball is in or out. We're happy to take those views. You've got to remember that where we are here at SquashXL is for the umpire and also for us as commentators is up above a little bit. So we do have the elevation. And of course you always get slightly different views depending on where you are around a court.
I think the lighting on this court also makes it really hard to see if the ball's out on those high lobs.
Nice. Oh, not quite. Ooh, careful there with the leg. Well, he's only young, but you've got to remember every player here out of the 8 players has had 7 to 8 weeks off. Looked like the left quad, just as he stepped.
I think Glenn's angles are really starting to pay off here. Great lob there from Jack. Good use of height. Ooh, unlucky on that one.
Seems to be moving okay, Jack Conder, after a bit of a stutter on his left leg. Tried to walk it off. Who knows what it'll be like after this match is completed.
Yeah. Pace is really starting to go up now. Critical time of the match.
It'll be interesting to see how, with this the final of the first week through to Friday, the first round of second week, just how much practice the players can get in and whether they have to go to school or university, things like that as well. Obviously, Leo Fatialofa has to go back to Auckland Grammar on Monday. Jack Conder is still in at school. He's, I think, Mount Albert Grammar. A few other players, either school or work or different things as well. But that is Glenn Templeton taking the second, make that the third game, 11-6, same score as the second. So he is now up by 2 games to 1. And the fourth game coming up very shortly.
Sorry, Alan. Yeah, then someone else said, yeah, I saw that as well. Apologies, Ahmed. It was obvious. I can see this line, I couldn't even tell. It's so hard to see. Where's Heather when you need her, eh?
We have consulted with the referee and his word is final.
And back now for this, the fourth game of the first match. It is in the blue, Glenn Templeton, he is 18 years old. And in the white, it is Jack Conder, he is 17. Two of New Zealand's better juniors. In fact, Glenn Templeton won the New Zealand Under-19 title last year. Jack Conder, a very good player and rising star out of Auckland. Whereas Templeton is from the Bay of Plenty, just south of Auckland. And it was Conder who took the first game 11-7, but in the next two sets, it was Glenn Templeton 11-6, 11-6. Bit of a stumble in the last game as well, and it looked to be the quad of Jack Conder that cleared sore.
Just
Yeah.
some great pickups here from Jack. Really showing his athleticism. Oh,
Gee. There's a lot of high-risk running that he does.
there is. Seen him smash into the wall a couple of times.
Yeah.
Doesn't bother him though, does it?
And Tim Chileshe, you'll be taking on your roommate, Joel Arscott, in the final at around about 5:15 New Zealand time. Of course, it's been a mixed year for you because you won your first PSA satellite, but you had 7 to 8 weeks of no squash or no competitive squash until just a couple of days ago.
Yeah. It's weird. It's weird. Feels like it's been forever. It's only been 7 weeks.
I mean, the good thing.
Feel quite bad for those over in the UK where their lockdown's still going for like another 12 weeks. It's really crazy to think 12 weeks without squash.
Exactly. I was just going to say, your brother had been up in Manchester, Lawamba, ranked 160 in the world at the moment, and he's been up there training, but he hasn't really been training on the court, has he?
No, just all home sessions. I think lots of handstands, I've been told. I think that's the thing he's been working on during this lockdown period, is handstands.
I don't know if that's going to help on the court. Wait and see.
You never know.
Oh, well played.
I think he's got a good crew of training partners over there, so I know they've been doing some Zoom call sessions and getting together and doing some gym sessions over their laptops, which is quite cool.
Even for you and Joel being here at the centre, it's just nice to play a competitive match, isn't it?
Yeah,
There's such a difference.
It is, yeah. See other people, play other people, see some different game styles. No, it's great. We've really missed it. Great use of angles there by Glenn.
So we've got Glenn Templeton, or Boss Baby as he's now been nicknamed, and Jack Pinball bouncing off the balls.
Yeah. Great nickname for Jack there.
Actually, that is a good one for him. It's
Yeah.
really appropriate.
Yeah. A few grunts starting to come out from Jack.
Yeah, it's just...
Really giving it everything out there, isn't he?
I think that's the thing, though. He's putting so much into every shot, like every shot like that. It's almost too much sometimes.
Yeah, I think a lot of players struggle with that as well, because they just try too hard.
Yep.
And then, you get some silly errors, or you start slipping and things like that.
So now Glenn Templeton, Boss Baby, has the 6-4 lead. Let's see what he can do from here. Just slowing the play down a little bit. He really is the pinball Jack Conder there, bouncing off the walls and off the floor. But not quite working for him at the moment.
I think that dive, actually, that shot went up. Must have conceded his double bounce.
Yeah.
Because it looked like it went up on the front wall.
I'm sure some of the people watching can let us know about that. They're pretty good at refereeing, aren't they?
Yeah. Seems that way.
And I think our referee for this particular game, and Joe Arscott, has allowed no lets, but plenty of stroke.
Yeah. Taking the space there, Jack. Good finish from Glenn.
Good rally, guys.
So, Tim, do you enjoy it when you have to fill in as a referee, as an umpire or scorer? Or is it just something you think, oh, no, it's my turn again?
I actually don't mind. I actually enjoy watching the squash.
Really?
And it means I take my mind off my match as well. And I just start, see how the court's playing. I don't actually mind it.
One of the things in junior tennis was that if you lost, you had to umpire.
Yeah.
It was a real incentive to win.
Yeah. See, squash is the opposite, isn't it?
Yeah.
Normally,
it
if you
is.
win, you umpire, yeah.
Yeah. Which is probably the best way to make.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Couldn't imagine me riffing after a loss.
It was such an incentive. Any umpires out there online? You can tell us what you thought of that. There's a few thoughts coming through.
You got that? Oh, great rally there.
Well done. I think they're probably both a bit tired after that one as well. We're in the fourth game, and these players have certainly been moving around a lot. He's come back nicely, Jack Conder, the pinball in this particular game.
Yeah,
Was down by about 2 or 3 points, but he's fought back nicely.
He's done really well there, hasn't he? Won some tough rallies. See if he can convert his first game ball.
Yeah. It's great stuff there for the pinball coming back and potentially taking it into 5 for this, the first game, the first match of the finals day. And he does. And Tim, do you want to go and get your washing? Because I can see it outside. You go and get
Might
that.
I get that?
Yeah, I think you should. There you go, Tim Chileshe running. It's just started raining here in Auckland, and he has his washing outside the venue. Oh, it probably would have been almost dry as well. That not to be. That last particular game going the way of Jack Conder, and now we're into the 5th game very shortly. He's got to go and check that his washing hasn't got drenched by the rain. And back with the 5th game in just a moment. Well, first things first, Tim Chileshe, did you save your washing? Because it started raining out there, and this is effectively your home SquashXL venue. How's the washing?
Yeah, I had my socks for my match out on the line just then, and they're soaking now, so we'll have to go and find some replacements shortly after this match, I think.
Oh, just to fill people in, that Joel Arscott and Tim Chileshe live at the venue. It's a big enough venue, and you've got your room there, you've got your showers, you've got your courts, you've got only permanent glass.
Everything, really, yeah.
It's a little bit unusual for some people, isn't it? But it's...
Yeah, it is, but I think got to make some sacrifices being a squash player if you really want to make it to the top, so...
You hear about different people in different sports who sacrifice a lot of things at a similar age to you. You're 19, and they sacrifice certain things, whether it's eating different things, drinking or socialising, and you put everything into this court and the other courts here as well.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got to give it a go, because if you don't want to think about regretting. Why didn't I do this?
Yeah, I think that's the main reason I've really given it my all, because I think there's not much point in really just half, you know. I was about to use a word I shouldn't really, but...
All right, well, feel free to make any comments, whether it's about Tim and Joel actually living here on site, or whether it's about the refereeing and the match itself as we go into the 5th. And Jack Conder, the pinball, he's got a couple of points up on Glenn Templeton, who is baby boss. Is that right? Boss baby?
Boss baby.
I've got to remember my bosses and my babies.
good to see Glenn playing through that one, playing through the interference.
Are we seeing any particular pattern this early in the fifth game, or is it really a little bit error coming through to actually help the other person go forward?
Yeah, I've seen a few errors, but I've also seen Jack using a bit more height. And he's taking the ball to the front a lot more as well with his boasts. Working on some occasions and not on others, but it's interesting to see the change in game plan there.
Now, just we have some people commenting on your washing line or your lack of washing skills.
Cheers, guys.
Feel free to make any comments about the washing or refereeing.
Yeah, I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts.
Nice touch, and the big reach there of Glenn Templeton helping him out with that backhand drop. And the score now to 5 apiece. I mean, you're talking about, I mean, we're making fun of having to do washing in the sink and sort of hanging around on the rails and things. But I do recall Paul Cole 3 years ago making the comment that, you know, you're going 2 to 3 people in a room, someone on the floor, someone on the couch, when you're not in that top 20.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, in other sports as well, where people are, you think, well, gee, I just need to get to that mark where I can make a few dollars and actually stay in the hotel.
Yeah, and actually afford it. Yeah, I think Paul's a prime example of someone who's worked really hard and sacrificed a lot. I've actually heard he slept on a squash court in an Australian PSA, so it's a bit of inspiration for us.
What, not to sleep on the court?
Yeah, not to sleep on the court. At least we've got a room.
Yeah. But that is the thing. It's not easy as a young squash player or even as someone in the top 100.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's not.
And for sleeping on a rolling bed now, hopefully in the future you get the proper hotel.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, nice. There's that triple boast again, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's a specialty.
Yeah, it is. He's very good at making it stay really high up the front.
Yeah.
Really makes you do a huge lunge and stretch.
Well, he's hitting the side wall from, I guess, the surveying mark, which is pretty skillful.
Yeah, it is. He's got very good touch. Yeah, it's quite accurate. I think it's a lot of practice.
I don't know I'm not sure what you're calling there, Jack.
I think he was actually through to the ball there. Maybe he didn't see it because of Glenn's front.
For those people watching and listening, just to remind you that these players, well, we've got 17-year-old Jack Conder and still at high school, and 18-year-old Glenn Templeton in the blue. So yeah, still teenagers. In fact, the oldest player in this competition is 21, and the youngest is 17, Leo Fatialofa, who just turned 17 about 3 days ago. So it really is a tournament for the best young domestic players around New Zealand. And good for them to have a go.
Getting to the juicy stage of the 5th game now.
Yeah.
See what happens here.
What do you think?
Ooh.
Anybody watching, give us your thoughts on that. We're happy to hear them.
It's quite a tough call, I think, there. He might have been making up for his last call on that one.
Yeah, exactly. And thank you very much for the PSA Squash TV for hosting this. Great to have squash live and free and on the PSA TV YouTube. So, pick up. We're going to go. Well, on the last call we've had, people say there was a let, someone saying it was stroke. Another let call coming through.
I think Jack was just asking for a review there. Unfortunately, we don't have the technology for that.
Not quite. We're happy if people are able to review this at home. Let us know. Won't do you any good, but we're happy to let us know.
Yeah. Crucial point there.
Yeah. For someone as powerful as Glenn Templeton, he does play a lot of long matches, doesn't he? He's not finishing. He's not so good at finishing them quickly.
Yeah. Whoa. Lucky back all nick there from Glenn. It's a good time for that to happen for Glenn there. 9-0 on the 5th. Got on with the middle shot there. Saw a lot of good length by Glenn in that rally.
Exactly.
I think his experience coming out there.
The thing with Glenn as well is that sometimes he doesn't look as though he's moving because he is a big guy and he managed to get to balls. I really don't think so. So it's easy to sort of say, well, he's not really running, but he's certainly moving.
Yeah, for sure.
And our first match point, what has been a long match, but entertaining. There you go, short or long, folks. We get the choice here.
It's 11 or 13, not 1 by 2.
Here we've got the short or long rule where you can either choose short and it's first to 11 or choose long and it's first to 13.
There's no setting. Game 13.
Okay, so first to 13, it appears that we're going long. the players just getting used to whether it's short or long. With this live squash coming to you from New Zealand, from Auckland, from the SquashXL club, Glenn Templeton, 18-year-old, 17-year-old Jack Conder, deep into the 5th game.
It's a great straight drop there on the backhand side by Jack Conder. Really taking his time.
And feel free to give your thoughts on the match and on the refereeing, any decisions as well. So it's switched around from one match ball to Glenn Templeton to now the first one for Jack Conder, the pinball.
See if the pinball can make it happen with this first one.
Okay, well, if you're listening to that, and you can see what just occurred there, it is a win to Jack Conder in the 5th. So taking that one out by a score of 13-10, and 17-year-old Jack Conder winning the plate match, a consolation match that is, and he finishes 7th in this first week of the competition. So congratulations there to Jack Conder and Tam. Not always the way you want to finish a match with a dispute, but I mean, they've been playing for just under an hour actually, about 54 minutes.
Yeah, I think that our last point was a prime example of really playing the point until it's over.
You can't shake hands, folks. The people that are saying about shaking hands, you're not really meant to do that just yet. There are health regulations in New Zealand. We are at level 2, which means you can play squash and some other sports, just not team sports. But there are health regulations that we still have to adhere to, and that's why they're not going to be shaking hands. And there's certainly some wiping down, which proceeds as well. But we'll be back very shortly with the plate final. And that will feature Leo Fatialofa. He has a world ranking of 380. He's only just 17. And Michael Shelton-Agar, he doesn't have a world ranking. He's the oldest person in this tournament, 21. So coming back very shortly with that match.
Well done, champ. I might get things through. I'll get you twisted. Surely TV star Michael Shelton-Agar does the door this time. Absolutely, yeah.
Well, welcome into this, the playoff for 5th and 6th. And it is Leo Fatialofa with the black sweater on at the moment, warm-up sweater. And he's just turned 17 a few days ago. And he has got a current PSA ranking of 380 up against Michael Shelton-Agar, who is in the green t-shirt. He doesn't have a world ranking, but he's been a decent junior around New Zealand. He's only 21. And it should be an entertaining contest because Shelton-Agar does pull out the odd unorthodox shot, whereas Fatialofa is very good fake. He's very good at holding the ball there. He's very good at using the boast as well. And one thing about Fatialofa is that he does have a huge support base, and we hope that Henderson Squash Club is able to enjoy watching this match as well. Most of his relatives play squash at Henderson, and very much a community and family club as well. So let's hear it also from any supporters of Leo. Feel free to make some comments. We had quite a few when he was actually doing the commentary yesterday. Some new words and new language used that people of anybody over 30, in fact, or over 25 probably wouldn't recognise. But feel free to make any comments, and this match will get underway in just a few moments. You don't want to have another 5 like that with a decision in the end. You poor buggers.
The thing's not working, sorry, so you simply Google it.
Premier League play final match between Shelton-Agar and Fatialofa, the UNSQUASHABLE.
And welcome into this, the playoff for 5th and 6th. It is Leo Fatialofa in the, we'll call it yellow-green, against Michael Shelton-Agar in the darker, well, black shorts and the darker top as well. Great to have the Henderson Squash Club supporters here as well. And for his punishment for winning Jack Conder, the pinball, he is now the referee for this particular match. He's just played 5 games, nearly an hour, and now he's refereeing as well. Please feel free to make any comments about the match or about any particular shots, even about the refereeing. We won't mind too much. This is the first sport in New Zealand of an elite level, which has got underway. It got underway 24 hours after. Oh, great rally. 24 hours after lockdown, it had gone from level 3 to level 2. And what you're probably going to see in this match is Fatialofa is very quick around the court, and certainly does hold the ball quite well on his shots, very good at disguising them. Michael Shelton-Agar, a little unorthodox with his play, but he makes you play, and that's the important thing with him. Great movement there from Fatialofa, and able to retrieve the drop and then hit it deep. And as you saw, if you watched the first game with Jack Conder against Glenn Templeton, we are able to play long or short, which means you want to win by 1 or you can go to 13. It's a little bit old-fashioned, but it's been a bit of fun. Players just remembering what they're going to in this tournament. What you will see from Fatialofa on the court, we've said about his disguising of shots, but is that he is very athletic when it comes to his movement. It looks as though you can almost put him in any sport, the way he is able to move. He is only 17, as I said. His family is heavily involved in Henderson Squash Club. We know that a number of them are watching. He's a prefect at Auckland Grammar, which is a very respectful award to get. And he said yesterday when he was helping out with some commentary that he really loves being able to hit winners. Sometimes he has to slow himself down as well. And running out to an early lead here, 7-3. And this is where Shelton-Agar will need to either slow down the points or create something a little bit different with his own shots that he has. He's got experience, but it's whether or not he can keep up with Fatialofa. And good to see the different styles of players. We had yesterday Anthony Lepper and Chileshe, very similar in the way they played. They played a 5-setter in what was the semi-final. And not quite coming off at the moment for Shelton-Agar. As you can see the comment there from John Duggan saying for some of the players, yeah, it's a little bit of tightness. That one out. And Leo Fatialofa taking out the first game in quick fire fashion, around about 4 minutes. It comes down to some players haven't had the match play. In fact, no one's had the match play up until just a couple of days ago because we have been in 7 to 8 weeks of lockdown and no tournaments anywhere. So this is an opportunity for them to get match play, and we have 4 tournaments in total. This is the first. And the grand final coming up a little bit later on. That will be Chileshe up against Joel Arscott. Those are the players who live at the venue at the moment. So it'll be good to see that particular final. The next match will be the 3rd and 4th playoff. And that'll be Elijah Thomas up against Anthony Lepper for the 3rd and 4th playoff.
Doesn't work all the time. You're not able to do it all the time. You fall back into it more because everybody does it. But I can see it, and I can see the benefit of it. It's very hard as a player when you're used to attacking different shots.
And great to have Char Roberts with us. I know that Char, you're a supporter of Fatialofa, and he'll be happy to have you watching his match. We might actually get him behind the mic as well for maybe the next match. We'll see how we go with that. Well, he certainly educated a few people with his comments yesterday. I'm sure there'll be a few other people who will be keen for him to give us his words on how players are going. So as you can see on your screen, Elijah Thomas, Anthony Lepper up next, and then Joel Arscott and Chileshe. it's just nice to have live sport, whether it's New Zealand or around the world, and great to have a live squash as well. So congratulations to all the players for taking part. Let's get ready now for the second game of this, the second match. Leo Fatialofa in the white shorts and Michael Shelton-Agar in the black. Yeah, the speed around the court there of Leo Fatialofa is quite exceptional. It's now a matter of him being able to harness that talent. He's been to a couple of world champs. Probably a key part of his career now. At age 17, he's got exams at school, his last year at high school. And he's got to then think, well, how can I take my junior form and make it into senior as well? He does have the ranking, as we'd mentioned, of 380 at the moment, PSA. Played quite a number of PSA satellites. Much to PSA Squash TV. As I said, leave a like. Let's get as many people watching as we can. We've got 2 remaining matches too, and the second match, make that the 4th match, in fact the grand final as well, is scheduled for 5:15 at the earliest, which will be about 6:15 UK time. So if you don't mind getting up early on a Sunday, you can watch some top squash. And Shelton-Agar just a little bit tight around the body. It's going to be the case for a few players, not just because of the matches, but because this is the first time they've played matches in 7 or 8 weeks. And hopefully by the second tournament, everybody would have loosened up and limbered up and be ready to play again. A nice touch. And I wonder if we've got any supporters there for Michael Shelton-Agar, club player out of the Rembuera club. We know we have some Henderson supporters for Leo. What about anybody? Giving a shout out for Shelton-Agar, getting a lot of running around the court at the moment. I'm sure there's a few people watching this who maybe aren't the rising star of juniors in whatever place they are, and they're a club player who likes to get out there and be competitive. Anybody out there who's a club player who's just like to be competitive, let us know. Well played there by Shelton-Agar, forcing Leo Fatialofa into the backhand corner, making him tight in that corner and difficult to get a shot away. So Iron Man has come back saying that they are the club player. I'm not sure if this is Iron Man out of the movie or their pseudonym. But just think about if you were the club player, how would you go against Leo Fatialofa? Shelton-Agar staying in this particular game. And for those in the Auckland region and around most New Zealand, Interclub starts next month in mid-June. nice touch there by Leo Fatialofa. But with Interclub starting next month, around about this time, in fact, probably 3 weeks away in the Auckland region and other parts of the country as well. Great opportunity for all players who are taking part of this tournament. They all play in Interclub. It's quite a strong league, the A grade. Lack of footwork on that one there for Shelton-Agar. So the opportunity to take out the second game, a couple of points away. And the game ball. So far, not too many questions asked of the young referee, Jack Conder, who won the first match and now is doing the refereeing. Oh my goodness. Fatialofa decided to end it. Wow. So he takes the second game as well, Leo. Gee, when he finished that, he finished it. 11-5, the second game to Leo Fatialofa against Michael Shelton-Agar. And good play there. So we'll be coming back with the third game very shortly. And great to have some people coming through with their comments about what it's like getting on court as a club player or as a semi-pro. What would you do in this situation coming into the third game if you're Michael Shelton-Agar and thinking, well, he's got the first two. Is there anything you can do? What would you come up with, and how would you play that third game? Because it's not easy against someone like Leo Fatialofa, who's very athletic, covering the court well, and just seems to be able to hit the odd winning shot like that one to finish off that game. Let us know what you do, and we'll look forward to the third game. And of course, don't forget the third and fourth playoff is Elijah Thomas against Anthony Lepper. Those two players are within one ranking of each other. Lepper 256, Thomas 257. And the grand final of this first week of the Unsquashable Premier League, we do have Joel Arscott, 235 in the world, up against Chileshe, 337. So that one's not too far away either.
What's your prediction, Lepper, Elijah? Do you reckon they'll fire up, or do you reckon they'll just be lame? I don't know, because they play quite a bit.
And don't forget to keep liking this feed as well, because that gets out to more people, and more people are able to see good quality squash and be able to get out there and support, whether it's Leo Fatialofa or Michael Shelton-Agar, Elijah Thomas, Anthony Lepper, Joel Arscott, Chileshe, and the two players that previously played the match. That's Glenn Templeton and Jack Conder as well. Some of the nicknames that came through was Boss Baby for Glenn Templeton and Pinball for Jack Conder. Seemed to bounce off the walls. If you can come up with a nickname for Leo and Michael Shelton-Agar, feel free to let us know. As long as they're clean, that's all we need. Yeah, we're keen on the tactics as well. What would you do in this situation if you're Michael Shelton-Agar? Oh, it's a sky shot. No volley. Oh, much better start to this. Maybe he's been listening to some of the comments there for Michael Shelton-Agar. For love. Well, Well, there was a shot at the front wall there from Michael Shelton-Agar. I don't know how many walls it hit. I'm not too sure what anybody said to Michael Shelton-Agar in the break, but whatever was said, it's helped. Although a golden opportunity wasted on that one. 6th up. The opportunity for Leo Fatialofa there. Okay, that's a little bit better for Fatialofa to come back. This appears to be what Michael Shelton-Agar plays like. You try and read him. Oh, there's another one. You try and read him and you think you've got it, but he tells you you haven't. Oh, nice touch. A mini comeback from Leo Fatialofa, now 4-8. Oh, the opportunity was there to go to 9 for Michael Shelton-Agar. He certainly shot out to a good lead. And a test of both players, Fatialofa, if he can come back, and Shelton-Agar, if he can hold on. Running out of the way of that one. And you can just see with Fatialofa, every now and then he's just able to turn it on when he needs to and hit those winners, which are quite exceptional at times. Unfortunately for Shelton-Agar, had that big lead, but it's been cut back. A couple of winners from Fatialofa, and he's really upped the tempo. You can just see the speed and the way he's been moving. First few points just wasn't quite there. And there you go, does a shot like that. And asking about the rallies being shorter on the glass court. Possibly on this court, speaking to the players, they've said this court does give you shorter rallies. We're getting into cooler conditions as well. And you do have different players here. In the next match, you'll see longer rallies. The next 2 matches, that is. It's the attacking play of both of these players as well. When you see Elijah Thomas against Anthony Lepper, and then Joe Arscott against Chileshe, you'll see longer rallies, that's for sure. These 2 players like to go for their shots. There'll be some high areas, but they'll certainly like to go for it. Well, came back, what a comeback. A very good comeback there from Leo Fatialofa. Was down about 8-4 or thereabouts, and came back to take out the match as well. So a win there to Leo Fatialofa in just around about 21 minutes. over Michael Shelton-Agar. The next match, not too far away, that is Elijah Thomas, ranked 257, up against Anthony Lepper, ranked 256. And 7 or 8 weeks without play, folks. This is the first tournament. In fact, the lockdown only ended as such just about, on Thursday morning, and we were playing on Friday night. So great stuff for all the players to get onto the court here. We'll be back with the next match in just a few moments.
We've got the pros here now, have we?
No,
The pros.
but I tuned up anyway.
Surely there must be something on this match, even Epsom lads, other than the humble prize money. Surely there must be some kind of bragging rights or punishment, surely. Wow. That's the soft option. Surely the loser has to have a haircut, like a number one, or something like that. Thoughts, Heather? Shaved head for the loser? I mean, Elijah would be losing on purpose, wouldn't he? Yeah, that'd be unintentional. Not. Oh, you want the humour for the humour? Actually, you can go and see if it's still on. You can see.
No, I'm not bullshit. What's the time now?
Yeah, you just take it back. Well, you start. Just get back to the start. Let's see you. Who's that? Who's that? You Joel, is it? Probably napping. The battery's gone, madam. So you're gonna have to use your voice sometime.
Oh, but that's going to be so hard for me, you know that.
Yeah, it's a struggle.
So quiet.
No, it's fine. We'll do it. We'll get it next time. Just no, come. Don't worry about it. Just come. Did he hear me? Hassie got in there as well.
Did he?
Yeah, got that one. Hassie. Sorry? Well, then they put a baby box.
Surely to downstairs.
It's just a period where you
Just have to guess the time.
Yeah.
I just have to guess the time. And I don't wish to be rude, but did you just... Only because I know you'll be sweating.
I'll flick this.
I know you'll be sweating.
It's never rude.
Oh yeah, I'll just change it.
It's never rude. It's just
I just know you guys will be sweating. Oh, I can do that.
letters.
That's what you expect. My handbag down there has got my timer.
And back by a popular request, Leo Fatialofa will be back on the mic in just a few moments for this particular match, the third and fourth contest. That is Anthony Lepper, ranked 256 against Elijah Thomas, who is 257 in the world. This should be quite a good match with a lot of long rallies we're expecting. So feel free to come on in and leave some comments for Leo Fatialofa. We know he's got a lot of fans out there, mostly family, but all our Henderson Squash Club as well. Of course, Leo having a solid win there over Michael Shelton-Agar for 5th and 6th. And as many of you are asking, well, this is the first tournament, this is the first live sport in New Zealand as well. It is the first tournament play for any of these players for 7 or 8 weeks. So yeah, of course you've got to get those cobwebs out. And it's a little bit cooler now. What was it, 8 weeks ago? It was very warm around Auckland in particular. Now a little bit cooler. Just started raining a bit outside, and Chileshe had to go and get his washing in. I think his match day socks have probably got saturated. So bad luck there for Tim. Just a reminder of these players, the age of these players, well, they're certainly not old. No one in this tournament is old. Shelton-Agar was the oldest at 21. But we do have Elijah, well, he's 17 years old, and Anthony Lepper, he's only 19. So 2 more teenagers here on the court. And Elijah Thomas, I think he's been to at least 2 world championships, junior world championships. He made the final of the Henderson Open, that's the PSA tournament. Lost to Evan Williams, the Commonwealth Games player, and top 100 ranked player. So certainly be gaining a lot of experience, and Anthony Lepper, New Zealand's better juniors from a year or so ago. I expect some pretty long rallies here. You can see Elijah has the headband, and Anthony Thomas the curlier hair as such. Well, Leo Fatialofa has joined me again, and great to have you back. Congratulations on your win there over Michael Shelton-Agar. Just a review of that match. In the third game, we were down around about 8-4, I think it was, but then just reeled off the next few points to win the match. What was the story with that lead that Shelton-Agar had?
Oh yeah, he just went for some shots, and he's real skillful, so when he went for it, like, it was just that much above the tin. And he has like 5-love lead on me. And then I just told myself I had to be patient and stop making silly errors. And then just came off in the third, sorry. So I made it, luckily, because otherwise I probably would have gone to 4 or 5. But I'm just happy to get that third game.
Well, we had a few supporters from Henderson Squash Club getting in behind you, and including a woman, Deirdre Jeffries. I'm not sure if you know her, but she's certainly been supporting you.
Oh, yeah.
And Henderson Squash Club has been watching this as well. So good to see you on the court. So you played 3 matches. You got a couple of wins. Did you get
2 wins.
Yeah, 2 wins, 1 loss.
Yes, yeah.
That's not too bad after 7 or 8 weeks of not being on the court for a competitive match.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy. It's good, just enjoying it, and not really thinking about the result, just going on and just playing squash for fun. And just enjoying it.
Oh, it's great. Your cousin, is it Shah Roberts?
Yes.
She's been watching as well.
Yeah, hey Shah, thanks for watching my matches and Snapchatting me. Yo. And thanks DJ.
It's good to have supporters, folks, because as we said, these players have been up there it's been a real struggle to not be able to play a competitive match or even get on the squash court. Now at least you can get on the squash court and over these next few weeks play some competitive matches against a lot of guys who are your rivals, aren't they? They really are your rivals for selections, for everything, interclub, everything. Because you'll be playing interclub next month, I believe. I think it restarts
When it
around
restarts next
mid-June.
month. Yeah, I'll be playing for Henderson.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you're expecting, well, who else will be in your top team in Henderson?
So you got me at 1, and then Aaron Kapicki, Neil, Mason, and Upper, and
So
Jordan.
most of the team's your family, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, all of them. All of them, my family.
Oh, that's great. I mean, I think everybody will be happy to play interclub again.
Yeah, it's
whatever
great fun.
level, right?
Yeah. It's good to get together and then have a feed afterwards. Mean feed, especially at Henderson. Getting some mailing, some Chinese takeaways. Yeah. It's the best.
Well, I think explain that to people from overseas, that with interclub in this country, whichever club you go to provides some food for afterwards. Is that right?
Yeah. I think it's just it's what they've been doing for ages. That's why our country's so. For New Zealand squash, we're all like friendly, and every club's like really good to each other, and everyone who plays. So that's why we build good relationships with each other.
Yep. Well, we do have the more official referee back. Thank you very much to Joel Arscott and also to Jack Pinball Conder. They did a good job there filling in. There was a few queries about Joel's refereeing, but it was a tight match there as well, with Glenn Templeton up there against Jack in 5 games. And it must be hard coming off the court when you have to referee as well. You come off the court and you have to ref and be a scorer. Do you like doing that?
Oh no, I don't like refereeing. I don't think I'm a good ref. Probably need my glasses.
Who thinks?
Yeah.
Who thinks they're a good ref? Let us know, folks. Tell us if you're a good ref.
Yeah, everything's pretty hard, you know. To be, you don't want them to get angry at you.
So, what are you expecting out of these two? We're going to have a long rallies in this match, aren't we?
Yes, we're gonna have some big rallies. Both grinders. Both from Eden Epsom.
And these two will play quite structured points, won't they? Because against Michael Shelton-Agar, you weren't going to have a structured point that often earlier. Whereas this is more structured.
Yeah, this is a lot more structured. I like to take it in, and that's a nice shot from Elijah. I love that shot. Nice and tight on the back end.
And Leo, while we're watching this game, a question for you. Who's the biggest name player that you've played? Have you managed to get on quarter against Paul Cole?
No, I haven't played Paul.
But you wouldn't mind, though, just to see how to go.
Yeah.
I mean, he's number 5 in the world.
Actually, I did play Paul for an exhibition match. And I think it was only just one set. Yeah, I beat him, actually. I think I beat him.
Really? All right.
Oh no, I didn't beat him. No, I didn't. But it was 20. I think he played like 6 of us. There were 6 of us playing, and we had to get 25 points or something.
There's 6 players.
Yeah, no.
Strokes.
Oh, but he's Superman, so he has to play 6 players in a row. But like, there was only one set, and I was the one that got to 25.
Right.
So yeah.
But even in that sort of fun environment, what does he do so well?
Sorry, what was it?
What does he do so well that makes him so good? Is it something that...
Oh, just the intensity, tough to explain because he just the intensity is a lot higher, and they're more accurate, take the ball a lot more early, and just way more consistent with their shots.
Yeah.
So I think that's the biggest difference I saw when I played him, especially when he tried.
So the string broke in there for Elijah Thomas, and that was a decent break as well. And right in the middle, so I don't think we've got any shack, but you've got to remember it's a little bit cooler outside. I mean, squash is a winter sport predominantly in New Zealand, but it's just getting into that. And these rackets really haven't been used that much, have they?
Yeah. Just have to try and just ghost and pretend that you're hitting mix or something, or slotting. Yeah, just ghosting that. you can do pretty much just to visualize your shots on court.
Well, we do have Heather Finlay as our official referee, and she is official as well. So you may or may not be able to hear Heather. Not sure if she's on the mic at the moment, if the mic's working for her, but she is the official referee, and she is a New Zealand referee as well, so great to have her. Well, in this match, I think both players just working their way in. We've had one racket string break for Elijah. And Anthony Lepper is the sort of player that you have to beat, don't you? You don't just... You have to stay in the rally to beat him.
Yeah, he doesn't give it away. He's always on the ball and just goes hard. So yeah, he's a pretty strong player. You have to play really well to stay in there with him. Ooh, try to volley that one. Tough shot to play.
Yeah, a couple of little errors that you wouldn't expect from Elijah so far in this first game. And it is only the first game.
Yeah, I think that was a bit forced, but you know, I think he's going to reset now and just go back to the basic game plan. Nice and tight.
Yeah, very tight.
Nice finish from Elijah.
Kept himself very calm on that. Had the pick of anywhere to go and just took his time, didn't rush it.
Yeah, just came off the strings nicely. Just controlling that tee quite well. Ooh, hooks reversed.
Oh, yeah, nice.
Good rally.
He could, Anthony Lepper there maybe he could see that Elijah was coming back onto his left-hand side and just put it down to the right as far as he could.
Reverse psychology.
Yeah. Well, so much about this is about squash. You know, any sport is really being able to, this is going to sound the most basic way of most sports, put the ball where they aren't.
Yeah, yeah.
It's very basic.
Exactly. Just make them run more.
Exactly.
Make them move to the place where the ball isn't.
Folks who are watching, you can see a lot more structured game, a lot of play down the backhand, a lot more play down the backhand side here, and each player is going to bide their time waiting for the mistake. The two previous matches we saw perhaps a lot more unforced errors or a lot more let's just go for it. Yeah. In this one here it's just take the time, work the other player into the particular corner.
Exactly.
You're not going to see a huge amount of winners, are you, compared to some...
just a lot of just pressure, I guess. Working shots. Ooh. Ooh, went for it.
So feel free to leave a comment, whether it's on the refereeing, through to the players, the matches that you've seen, or this particular match yourself. Remember, these two players are within one ranking point of each other, or one ranking space of each other. Any thoughts on that, folks? Let us know if you agree. A lip, stroke, whatever you think that was. What about you, Leo? It's hard to tell.
Yeah, from this angle, pretty hard to tell, but that's the ref's job, so.
Play.
Trying to take it early. Ooh, nice and
Yeah, didn't quite hear the call. Game ball. Ball was hit out. So Anthony Lepper with the game ball on this one. For the first game. This is for third and fourth, this particular match.
Flick. Ooh.
Yep. I think that was a let there.
Yeah.
Certainly wasn't a
There
strike.
was a bit of interference, but I don't know.
This is the trouble in squash and a lot of other sports where you have a referee, is it or isn't it? And so many 50-50 calls, aren't there?
Yeah, exactly.
And when I say trouble, it just makes it more interesting.
Yeah. Sometimes they can just get strokes or just no lets.
Yeah.
You don't hardly get any lets.
Nice touch.
Oh, that's a nice finish from Lepper. Nice backhand flick in the neck.
Well, there you go. The first game of this, the third and fourth playoff to Anthony Lepper over Elijah Thomas. And a tight one to a certain extent, 11-7. Feel free to let us know that you're watching and also let us know who you think should win, what they're doing well, what they could do better. It's great to have people around the world watching and taking part in this, the first live squash action, possibly around the world, certainly of ranked players. Just about everybody in this tournament has had or does have a PSA ranking, so great to have everybody with us. Back in just a moment with the second game.
Unless it's like fast forward sport, she hates sports, so.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
So none of them knew that. That's good. It was a good, decent net too, wasn't it?
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good actually. Pretty cool. Yeah. Tell your friends at Squash New Zealand.
Look, mate, I try my best to put all the comments on. 15 seconds. I don't have any friends at New Zealand Squash, I just work that out.
Yeah, obviously we don't need it. Putting stuff on TV doesn't seem to make any difference.
10-0. Chilly sometimes.
And now for the second game of this, the second match. It's for third and fourth. Third and fourth of this tournament. With the headband, it is Elijah Thomas, 17, against Anthony Lepper. They've got ranking positions 256 for Lepper, 257 for Thomas. And being told to play it by the referee Heather Finlay.
A bit harsh.
Well, It's an interesting one.
I thought there was a little bit of interference, but you know,
Okay.
it is
All
what it
right.
is.
There you go, Leo is saying that. Now, anybody else with any thoughts? Let us know if you agree with Leo or not. One thing that was extremely interesting at the Commonwealth Games a couple of years ago in the Gold Coast was the referee's comments to some of the players. And I'm sure Sarah Jane Perry would have remembered those against Joelle King in the final, where the referee basically told her, get on with it and play it, you can make a better effort. It was, they were really telling her off.
Ooh, nice and early.
Good touch. That's a very good touch. The ball stayed low after that bounce as well.
Yeah, and taking his space.
Yeah, it was a good touch.
Good lunge.
All right, so let's see if we've got any Fatialofa supporters who want to come through and say hello. We can maybe do a shout out to you. Play.
That was a nice shot from Elijah.
Back to high school for you tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow.
You catch the bus in, or how do you get there? You drive?
Catch the train.
Okay, catch
yeah.
the train. That's not too bad. I guess for you, you get off at
Grafton.
Okay.
Yeah, get off at Grafton.
It's
Get
just
on.
up the road.
I get on at Henderson, so it's about 35 minutes
That's pretty good.
on the train.
And the rule at Auckland Grammar is what? Socks up, shirts in.
Yeah, that's the Grammar way, you know. High socks, high standards. That's how we roll.
Oh, I like it. Good stuff.
What are your thoughts on Elijah's haircut?
Yeah, I'm not sure about the mullet, but I mean, each to their own.
I think it's pretty cool, you know.
Yeah, it really
I think
is.
he's been listening to too much XP Boys. Too much engineers.
Yeah, it really is a bit of a take back to the early 90s when mullets were in.
Yeah.
Hopefully they don't return. There were some shockers.
Yeah, I think the trend's over now, but yeah, it's all good.
Yeah. Yeah, no, he's had a couple of interesting haircuts over the last 2 or 3 years, hasn't he?
Yeah. Just trying to keep up with the trend, I guess.
Exactly.
Oh, nice
Yeah,
finish
nice.
from Anthony.
Yeah. I guess the temptation on a shot like that is to hit it as hard as you can because it's sitting up there. It's
Especially
at
if
that
they're
level.
in front of you. You just want to hit it away from them. But
Yeah.
yeah.
It was good to have the control just
Yeah. Came off the strings nicely. Ooh. Just holding his ground there.
Yeah. What about when you're playing interclub and some other matches as well? How's your body taken? Aside from the running and the hitting, but the physical, it's almost like someone's running into you quite a few times. And some
Yeah.
people do it a lot more than others, and you feel it. You must feel it, right?
Yeah, especially the big guys, they like to take their space a lot,
Right.
just showing that physical presence. Sometimes you might call it a block too, especially the guys that are really good at making it subtle and get away with it.
I mean, even on the
catch the ref
PSA,
out.
well, you see that PSA tour as well. Some guys really do.
Yeah, cheeky blocks, yeah.
Yeah. Those cheeky blocks. It's a lovely backhand that Elijah Thomas can reel off at times.
Yeah, I like the follow through. It's nice. Ooh.
What are we calling?
I think Elijah was just in his line. So,
Good to have everybody joining us online. Thank you very much to the PSA TV. Not quite there for Elijah. And also to John Duggan for hosting this live footage. Been a number of people joining us. And times around the world a little bit different. Here in New Zealand, it is is at just after 5 p.m. on a Sunday, and for a lot of people either go back to school or work in the morning for the first time in a number of weeks. This is the first sport to be played in New Zealand. Most other sports, or certain sports, returning next month, albeit without crowds. And we do have regulations here with this tournament as well. No more than 10 people as a gathering, certainly on one floor, let alone the complex. Keeping it tight down the back side. Oh, no, we switch.
Nice hold from Elijah.
Quite
Fantastic finish. Nice kill shot.
Leo, tell me, have you ever smashed a racket?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've smashed the racket a couple of times, but I'll stop now, you know.
In anger or against a wall?
In anger. Yeah, I've been, this was like probably when I was 11 or 12, when I was pretty immature, just getting really angry and yeah, but nah, I think I've matured now.
Because
So.
your dad probably would have pulled you off the court for doing that, wouldn't he?
Oh, yeah, I'm not gonna go into that. I'm just gonna let's not talk about that. Let's get back to the game. Let's change the subject.
That's good stuff. Well, from a story that Joelle King was telling recently was that her mum pulled her off the court and wouldn't let her play for a month because she played up. And said no more squash for a month, and she was really into it. I said, no, that's it. You've been bad attitude. You're off the court. You're not playing for a month.
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah. It's pretty sad.
Well, I guess you learned your lessons, don't you?
Yeah. Yeah, nah. It's not good to do that.
Out. Got a few people making some comments there, and go ahead. We want to hear from you. We want to hear if you're enjoying this match and enjoying hearing from Leo Fatialofa, who has, of course, won his match in straight games. This particular contest on court now is the third and fourth playoff. And some nice rallies, particularly down the backhand side. Who's going to switch first?
I think Anthony will switch.
Oh.
I was right, but it hit the tin.
He didn't have to do it on that shot, though, did he? He could have stayed there for a bit longer.
It's a tough shot to play, yes, but yeah, this will be crucial now. Who's gonna hit the tin? Oh, and he slam dunks it.
Nice shot.
That was just like a Michael Jordan slam dunk,
Yeah,
but
it
in
was.
squash.
But it's the perfect shot to hit down through it. It's on your forehand, it's just high enough.
That was nice. Oh. Good get from Elijah.
Second game. And well done there for Anthony Lepper. Yeah, taking that second game. There was a few points there, very tight indeed, but he just held and taking the second game, 11-9 over Elijah Thomas. Coming back for the third very shortly.
Mum, I did work, but outside it was. Gardening. Housework, all those projects. Till I didn't have Sky Sport, that debut movie, so I watched. I just picked some. I didn't pick a lot. I just. Still on, aren't they? I've got another. You watch the Luminaries tonight? That looks different, doesn't it? Have you read the book? No. Yeah, it's good. It's better to read the book before you watch. Well, I'll still take it. And yeah, it took me ages to get into the story. I've got my Sky, so I'll do my Sky on it and have a look. Hokitika. Is it Hokitika? That's where it's set. Where it's the gold. Yeah, I watched quite a few movies based in World War II era. I did watch the Jackson one, which was they shot not whatever it's called. It was so interesting. It was sort of a documentary, but it was the voices of the people. It was really interesting. It's cool. 15 seconds.
And a change of shirt for both players. We have Elijah Thomas, the headband, and the lime green shirt. Anthony Lepper, more in the brown shirt as we get underway in this, the third game. It is Lepper who has taken the first two games. 8 and, if I read my writing, I'll make that 7 and 7. I'll make that 7 and 9. It's getting a little bit dark up here. Leo Fatialofa, you've had a few people enjoying your match when you won that just a little while ago, the 5th and 6th playoff, and a few people listening in as well. You got an auntie who's been listening?
Yeah, auntie. Yeah, that's my auntie from to the ring. Yeah. Thanks for watching my game. Love you.
All right, good stuff. And in this particular match, Leo, we've seen Lepper take the first two games. But there still hasn't really been that much. There's been a couple of points here and there.
Yeah, pretty tight sets.
Yeah.
I think it was the calls at the end where play a big role when you call your lets, and those strokes and no lets are real crucial, especially when it's like 9-all.
Yeah, no particular player has dominated at all.
See if Elijah can come back here.
If there's any predictions about who will take out this match or who will take out the grand final, which of course is Chileshe up against Joel Arscott, let us know. We're happy to take predictions. What about you, Leo? Who do you think will take out the final? Leo or Tim? Leo or Tim. Tim or Joel?
It's pretty tough to say because Joel's been playing really well, and when I played Tim, he's pretty strong and solid on court. So yeah, I think it'll be pretty close because they play each other quite a lot, and they know each other's game inside and out. So.
Do you get sick of playing the same opponents often? There must be someone you play a lot and you think, oh man, I know their game.
I've played Elijah like over 100 times.
Oh, really?
Yeah. We always play each other. Like if we're playing the same tournament, we'll just end up playing each other somehow.
Right. Yeah, and
Could be for consolation or something.
Yeah, because it must sort of get to you, like, not them again. I win all the time, or I lose all the time, or it's just...
Yeah.
not so much fun?
Yeah, no, it's yeah, you'd like to play other people too. You know, it's cool to play other people, but I guess you know their game a lot better if you play the same people quite a lot. And it can help in some ways too. So yeah. Oh, nice balls.
All right, give us your thoughts on that decision from the referee, Heather Finlay. Anybody with their thoughts out there, let us know.
But unlucky for Elijah, but good for Anthony. Cool win as well. So yeah.
The thing is, when you don't have a video replay, which a lot of tournaments don't,
Yeah.
and you know, this is a first practice tournament in many ways, one of 4 tournaments, it really is hard to judge.
Yeah.
And every player is going to think that what they say is the right one.
Oh yeah, from their view. Ooh, Anthony went the wrong way. Yeah, from their view, you know, just has to be biased.
Yeah, of course.
unless it's pretty obvious. Yeah. Nice hold from Elijah. Good lob.
Well, as we've said, these two players are both teenagers. Elijah still 17 and 19-year-old Anthony Lepper. Elijah has certainly shot up in height over the last year.
Yes.
Anthony's a bit more of a, when you look at him, you think of a slight build, but he's looks like a speedster.
Yeah, he looks like a sprinter, you know?
Yeah.
Got that Fijian blood in him. Must be, he is quick.
Yeah.
Looks like a sevens player.
Yeah.
Play for Fiji. Play for Fiji.
A very small one for Fiji. He's doing the
Oh, true.
large.
Got big Fijian players in the sevens.
Yeah, certainly Elijah has shot up, and yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if he grows even taller. So feel free to let us know about your comments, referee, play, who's going to win. We're happy. Oh, nice touch. That's a better touch. You are watching live squash. It's allowed to happen in New Zealand. There are health regulations still. And Elijah takes the lead. Hasn't had that too often.
Unforced error from Anthony. Unlike yours. Ooh. Bit of delayed play from both players.
The players really haven't been on court for such a long time. Perhaps they just lose themselves.
Yeah. Could be a tactic. You know?
I don't know what sort of tactic that is.
Probably just stopping the rhythm.
Yep.
You know, just slowing the game down, getting in the other player's head. Probably.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Could be. But. Ooh. Nice kill from Anthony. It's been pretty strong on that side, eh?
Yeah.
Takes it in quite well.
Well, throughout this third game, we haven't really, again, seen a player grab the initiative and sort of really say, hey, I'm going to take the lead. Well, they haven't really been allowed to.
No,
So
they're not leading each other. It's just a battle of attrition, man.
Yeah.
Both players standing their ground. Ooh, he makes the error. Who says he's dominating? Wonder what Anthony's thinking right now.
Yeah, any supporters from the Henderson Squash Club, give us a yell. And at the moment, though, two competitors from Eden Epsom. Anthony's at Eden Epsom club at the moment, isn't he?
Yeah, they're both live.
So the club of former world champion Carol Owens. She coaches over there. Carol very happy to be back on court coaching herself.
Oh, that's a nice drop from Elijah.
Yeah, well done.
Nice touch. Oh, he's asking for a let. Nah.
9-6 and no strike. 9-6.
All right, the pressure back on. Well, in many ways, it's on Elijah Thomas here because he's two games down.
Yeah.
Serving 9-6.
He got it. He got it.
Yeah.
Good retrieval.
Oh,
No, you left it up room. And out 7-9.
so the most difficult thing is when you get a call going against you, or what you think is against you, how to just switch back on to focus on the next point, isn't it?
Yeah, you gotta tell yourself to just reset. You know, when the call's made, it's been made. You can't really change it
Yeah.
unless it's a video referee.
But it's
yeah.
all very well to say that. It still weighs on you, doesn't it? It's still
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, no, you just gotta let it go away. Can't change it. You can't go back to the past.
So here we go, game ball.
Oh, he went for it. Oh, and it was punished.
Thomas, 2 games.
Nice work there for Elijah Thomas. In order to get a game back, takes that one out, 11-7. And coming up very shortly, we'll be into the fourth game of this, the third and fourth playoff. Elijah Thomas against Anthony Lepper. And then the grand final, that is Temwa Chileshe up against Joel Arscott. Stick with us, there's some very good squash still to come.
Sure.
Back into the fourth game here, the third and fourth playoff. Elijah Thomas against Anthony Lepper, a couple of high balls, one very close, imperiously close. Oh, nice volley. Ooh, you can't get anything back on that.
Good judging from Elijah. It's like he saw the future.
And is that a message here from someone called Glenn Templeton? I wonder if it's...
GT. Where is he?
I don't know. Is still here over there somewhere?
I can't see
Might have
him.
lost him.
He's probably in the changing rooms or something.
Yeah. He was
Yeah.
called Boss Baby.
Boss Baby.
Yeah, there's apparently an animated character called Templeton.
Oh,
And Boss Baby.
haven't seen that movie.
Nah.
My favourite animated movie is Moana.
Maybe Glenn wants a ride home or something like that.
Yeah, I think he wants to go. But it's not my choice, you know. I've already committed to this, so it's based on Elijah and Anthony. Oh. Bit of conflict right now.
Alright, anybody watching, tell us your thoughts.
Friends off court, enemies on court. That's how it rolls.
Alright, let's play ball there. This is very live for all the people that are asking. This is the first live sport in New Zealand and the first live squash around the world. Players just asking questions. In many ways, they're asking the same question, whatever they're asking. Let's see if we can get a pattern back here. Let's see if we can get a bit of a pattern back because it just lost a little bit of focus there for a moment.
Yeah.
And I think both players will maybe play down the backhand side again, keep it consistent and be patient. That's better.
Game looks a lot faster, eh? It's like they're upping the tempo up. Looks like it's going to go to 5.
So we have someone here saying that their club is still shut. I don't know which club it is. Let us know which club it is because around New Zealand they should be able to open. Well, they are able to open. Just a matter of
Health and safety rules.
yeah, exactly. So let us know what your club is and if they are able to open wherever you are. Certainly around New Zealand they are allowed to.
Good get from Elijah. Oh. Some really good rallies. Unforced error.
Yeah.
I think you just need to reset.
Well, you've got to cut down on those unforced errors because otherwise we're going to be going to 5.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be. Looks like it's going
And
to go
there's
to
another
5. I think Elijah's just found the rhythm. Oh, 3 errors in a row.
3, yeah. That's, you know, don't make the errors. Let your opponent do that. Let your opponent either hit a winner or hit the error. But if,
Must be Christmas for Elijah, eh?
yeah. Well,
Uh-oh.
again, at this rate, we're going 5. Bad luck, Glenn Templeton, because you're going to have to wait for a bit longer there.
Yeah. Sorry, Glenn. Yeah. Just top spinning now. Yeah, it's going to 5.
Well, there you go. We're into 5, and if you do need to go, Leo, if you think that Glenn really needs to go, I can see him over there. No, I can't. Where is he gone? If you do need to go, that's fine. We'll let you go. We can't let him wait around. And into 5 for this, the 3rd and 4th playoff. Let's see. We still have the championship playoff not too far away with Timwa against Joel, and that shouldn't be too far away. We've got one more game here, and this the 3rd and 4th playoff.
would have too.
Yeah, it wasn't worth the fight.
Yeah, at my age, I would have given up.
God, I would have given up after the first game, mate.
So, he's just sharp, bro. He's not me yet.
It's fruit, guys. Do you know what that is? Well, this guy don't eat fruit, do they? No. Good fruit this time of year. What can you say? Probably banana. Oh, yeah. Banana. Only 'cause they have to. She's gone off fruit actually for us a few weeks, don't we? We used to get a lot of fruit, didn't we? God's sakes. Jesus.
Athletes do get close.
That's what I learned you did it yesterday. I'm just.
Into the fifth game of this, the third and fourth playoff of the Unsquashable Premier League. And some comments that people have their clubs still shut. Well, let us know which ones they are. Well, we're very interested to know. Certainly around New Zealand, you are allowed to have the clubs open. Whether or not those clubs have decided to open is a different story. You certainly are allowed to have the clubs open for individual play. No more than 10 people gathered at a time. You're not allowed to have your bar open. And a few other rules as well. But let us know which clubs those are. If yours is closed, and hopefully they will be able to open shortly. After the lockdown and into level 2, which is what New Zealand is at now, clubs were allowed to open with certain requirements. And Leo, your club Henderson open now?
Oh yeah, it's open. It's good we got a new booking system in now. So yeah. I think that bar's going to be open soon too, like Thursday. Not that I go to the bar, but I'm just saying, yeah. That was a bit.
Well, we've got a report that clubs in Singapore are still closed, and hopefully they get open shortly. Oh, nice post there, and the touch.
Ooh, carry.
What about in other countries for everybody who's tuned in? We know that in Singapore they're still closed. What about in Australia? When do they reopen? From Australia? Anybody from there? UK? Let us know when your clubs are able to open again. It'd be nice to hear from different people to find out when they can get back on court. A slower rally, this just building.
Yeah.
Bit of a chop on that one, real undercut.
Ooh, strokes.
And down to what?
Again, there's still no player that is saying, I am going to win this. No one's really grabbed at it.
Both players really want it, so looks like this set's going to be real tight. Some monster rallies. Oh, nice.
And if anybody is listening in, I think we should give a bit of credit to my man here, Leo Fatialofa. He only turned 17 on Wednesday, I think it was. And for a 17-year-old to be stuck in front of the mic after just getting off the court, well done there to Leo. It's a little bit different. You come off the court and say, hey, by the way, you volunteered to talk. So thank you very much there to Leo.
No worries, thanks for giving me the opportunity.
Ooh, just, it was tight.
Not sure if that was enough. I didn't see that.
And we had some we had some very good refereeing from our spectators online before. If they want to help out again with refereeing, we're very happy to have them.
That was a nice shot from Elijah.
And a report here that squash clubs in WA and Western Australia opening tomorrow. That's good news there for Western Australia. I know that there's been limited cases of coronavirus in Western Australia, so good news there. And great that the clubs can open tomorrow. So good news.
I think Elijah's really controlling the rallies now.
Yeah, he's one of those players that you think he's down, but he's never gone, is he?
Nah, this guy, he never gives up, man. You know, this guy just keeps going, man. Just keeps grinding it out. Pretty hard worker.
Oh, it's not quite ready for the point to begin. Just saying that clubs in Taiwan have been closed, but well, most clubs in Taiwan, but in Taipei they're reopening tomorrow, the capital city, so good news there as well.
Anthony's caught up now.
I still have no idea who's going to win this.
Yeah. It's whoever's got it. Whoever's got the will, I guess.
Yeah. Let's see who can build the point. Down the backhand side. Let's see who can build it.
Let's see who's going to make the mistake, is the real question.
Any thoughts on that, folks? Anybody watching, any thoughts?
Elijah's been unhappy with that movement. Anthony's saying he doesn't know what to do. Just play the shot and yeah.
All right, come on, someone, give us some thoughts on that. Was that a let? I'm sure there's some opinions. There's some good referees online. With the 17-year-old Elijah Thomas and the line breaking
and he
shirt.
went for it. You went for it. Yeah.
Who's going to hold their nerve now?
Yeah, I think Elijah's got this now because
he's going to be fairly frustrated. For Anthony Lepper, this might be the second match in a row that he's lost in 5 after looking pretty good.
Yeah, I think Elijah just kept his cool and it paid off. Or it might pay off.
Touch. Yep. This time.
It's a good shot from Anthony. Good court awareness. Some good court sense.
And the phrase "play the ball, not the player" coming through from one of our viewers.
That's a lovely finish from Elijah.
Yep,
that was very nice.
See what he can do here. Finish it off on the first ball.
Let's see what happens.
Ooh. So you left that late.
Oh, that is a nice shot from Anthony. He's still in it.
Yeah. I
just see how Elijah's going to react.
Elijah left it too late there. He only just picked it up before double bounce. Oh, nice recovery.
Oh, that is a nice shot.
This time.
Very nice shot from Anthony. Good comeback.
Yeah, he saved a couple.
Can he get to 10? And what will it be, short or long?
Oh no, not those again. With enough confusion with the last game.
Yeah. Big point.
Elijah's just staying in.
Yeah, he's in there. Oh, that was a stroke. Oh, never mind.
Yeah, no discussion there on that one.
Yeah. Sorry. That's why I'm not a ref. That is why I'm not a ref. That is a. Ooh, what's he gonna
There we
pick?
go.
What's he gonna pick?
Long.
Oh,
Okay,
he goes
folks.
for long. Playing it safe.
Yeah, well, it is, isn't it? I guess it
Yeah.
is the safer option.
Safest option, man. Yeah. You know. This is a huge rally. Huge rally. Nice and tight down the
Gee,
backhand.
that's tight.
Very tight.
Who's going to go cross first? I think Anthony will go cross.
Yeah.
He usually there we go.
Yep. Elijah saying you should have said short.
It's good to have a variety on the rules.
Oh, lucky bounce for Elijah. But it is what it is.
Just your mentality is that win by 2, isn't it? For so long.
Good get from Anthony. See? He got there. Told you he's a sprinter. Oh, yes, this is tasty. This is it. Let's go.
Oh, yeah, I love it. It makes it fun.
I have no clue who's going to win this match. It's just that difficult to tell.
It makes it fun though, they're short and long.
Who's got the will to put it up? Are they going to go for it? And he goes for it.
There we go. That is it. Elite. That was enjoyable.
It's very...
I quite like the short and long. Just I wouldn't want it all the time, but for something like this, it's a bit of fun, don't you think?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know about as a player. You know, you can really get it wrong.
Yeah, you don't want to play say short and then lose.
Exactly. That's where the long is the safer option, but
yeah.
it gives both players the opportunity to really build that next couple of points. All right, well, Leo Fatialofa, I'll let you go because Glenn's still downstairs messaging you saying, I want to go. Well, Glenn, bad luck.
Unlucky Glenn.
Exactly.
Thanks for staying.
No worries. Thank you very much there, Leo Fatialofa, and well done there to Elijah Thomas, winning the 3rd and 4th playoff. Back in just a moment, very shortly in fact, with Temwa Chileshe up against Joel Arscott, and that game will be the grand final in just a few moments.
Sure.
Good work over the weekend. Good to see you squash playing. Nice.
You probably won't like that last night. I missed it double down. I didn't miss it, I saw it, but I suspect you could be faithful.
I'll still do it for you, bro.
Oh, no, seriously. Yeah. He doesn't get to referee very often. I mean, it's below sometimes level, but sometimes it's just good to do so.
Yeah.
That's what I think. Actually, I'm really quite tired. It's because you do like 4 in a row.
Yeah.
No, you're not today, but I'm just here. He never says anything like that, so it must have been a maybe he didn't want to
And welcome into the grand final of this, the Unsquashable Premier League, and a bit of a special guest all the way from the UK, where it is about 5 to 7 in the morning, something like that. Lawamba Chileshe, say good day, because you're talking to some of your fans back here in New Zealand and around the world.
Hello everyone. Hope everyone's enjoying the live squash right now. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the final.
All right, well, great to have you, Louis, and you haven't really been able to get on a squash court yourself for quite a while, have you?
Yeah, it's been too long, eh? Yeah.
So,
unfortunately.
What's the situation for you in Manchester? When do you think you'll be able to get on the court?
It's a tough one to say. I'm hoping that we'll be able to, the squash clubs will be open to at least the pros by July. I think that's probably the earliest that I'm going to be able to hit. I think I'm looking to get some tournaments running in August. There's talks of that, so hopefully that ends up going ahead as well. If all goes well, hopefully we'll be back by July, early August, which is still a while away from now.
Yeah, my goodness.
Oh, well. So it's quite bizarre over here. We've been hit quite hard, obviously. So everything's locked down. Still at level 4 over here, so it's quite tough.
All right, well, these two players on court here at SquashXL getting underway, and Joel Arscott, as we've seen, a ranking of 235 in the world, and Chileshe, your brother, 337. When was the last time you actually managed to have a hit with your brother?
Almost half a year ago. It's been a while. Which I think Joel ended up winning. So I played Tim a couple of times that week. Also played Joel a couple of times as well. It's going to be interesting game, I think.
Well, if people are wondering who we're talking to, it is Lawamba Chileshe. He is ranked 160 in the world at the moment and based up in the UK, but not really been able to do anything, unlike his brother who was on court, Timwa, who has got a couple of points on Joel Arscott, and this the grand final of the Unsquashable Premier League. And great to have Louis join us. Back with him in just a moment. And feel free to send through any comments, folks. We had some great comments today, certainly on the refereeing and also on some of the performances and whether things are lit or not. And people telling us about their clubs being open, and Western Australia about to open tomorrow. And also 150 people are saying, oh, sorry, you 150 at the moment, Louis, or 160?
Yeah, 150.
150. There you go. I took you down 10 places. Sorry about that, mate.
It's all the same, really.
Exactly. Now, someone here is... who was the highest ranked player that you've played, Lawamba? Can you recall that?
Highest ranked player was Chris Gordon, who was ranked 67 in the world at the time, I think. And that was actually my most recent match. That was a very good experience.
Because you had your first opportunity at the World Champs last year, didn't you? There were the team of Paul Cole, Campbell Grayson, Evan Williams and yourself, and you must have enjoyed that experience.
Yeah, that was really good. Yep. So that was over in Washington, DC. It was good. Being the youngest in the team, quite enjoyed it. Being amongst some of the best players in the world, Paul Cole and my team as well, so it was great.
Well, at the moment, your younger brother has a decent lead in this, the first game. And it's just going very well, started very well. Yesterday, though, he didn't have a very good start at all against Anthony Lepper in the semi-finals, whereas Joel Arscott did have the good start. And
Yeah, I think Tim also had a poor start against Leo, didn't he, on that first day?
exactly. So you've been able to watch a bit of these matches from where you've been, even though they haven't quite worked out brilliantly time zone-wise, but you've been able to watch a little bit?
Yeah, watching. But the first day I just watched the replays on YouTube, and then I was up yesterday morning watching Templeton versus yesterday. Yeah, I think it's good. Like when you haven't been able to watch any kind of recent content, it gets kind of boring. So it's good to have, like, no matter who's playing, it's good to have some fresh content. You know, some live squash once in a while. I found myself tuning into some of the archives of SquashTV, watching some big matches, early 2000s matches and stuff.
I'll ask you in the break very shortly about those changes in the matches from watching 2000 to watching 2020. Nice touch there by Joel. Let's see. Anybody out there, if they agree or disagree, don't worry. We've had a few people been making comments about the refereeing throughout the day, and I think there's some very good referees out there on the internet and watching online. Feel free to actually give us your opinions. We'll come back to you, Louis, in just a moment. And after a big lead of Chileshe, well, it's Joel Arscott coming back a little bit more. Oh, powerful shot to start with. And there we go, takes the first game. Right, well, there we go with the first game. Let's now just check in with Lawamba, Chileshe up there in Manchester. And just checking with Louis. You must be raring to go. I mean, it's fine doing all your fitness work and things like that. And what are you trying to do? Your handstand. But really, as these players here have found, it's just so good to get on the court.
Yeah. I think it's one of those sports where it's like it's not really the same unless you're actually playing. So I kind of feel like a lot of the time when I'm doing what I'm doing over here, like what most people are doing around the world, you know, just doing home workouts and running, and I guess have their own weights at home as well. But it's going to take, even coming back, it's going to take you about a week to be able to get back into it, no matter how much training you've been doing off court. It's just like with squash, like you got squash fitness, which you can't really get unless you're on court hitting and actually training on court. So it's going to be very interesting to see how everyone deals with that.
Oh, it's a tough situation around the world for everybody, and at least these players here, the 8 players, have been able to get on the court. Back with you very shortly, Louis, and as we get into the second game. Just hold on for 1 second. And back into this, the grand final of the Unsquashable Premier League between Joel Arscott, who is in the green shirt, against Chileshe, who is the orange shirt. Chileshe taking that first game, 11-4, just raced out to an early lead. In fact, 10 points in a row, or thereabouts anyway. and joined by Tenwa's brother and also fellow pro up in the UK, Luamba. And Luamba, what did you see in that first game? I mean, it went pretty quick.
Yeah, it was quite interesting. Normally, as you said, this week with the tournament, Joel's been getting some good starts and Timos has been starting well, but it seems to be the opposite here. I think Joel was just a bit surprised maybe with the intensity that Tim was brought. Maybe he was expecting Timmo to start slow today, and he hasn't. He's done the opposite. So I think Joel just needs to get into a rhythm here, and just kind of find his way, feel his way back into the match. Tim gets too far ahead again.
I think you'd have to agree, Louis, that both players don't give up. And just because they've lost the first game, they really could come back. It's not, oh, well, I'm down, I'm going to let it go. Both of them are very good at coming back into matches, aren't they?
Yeah, exactly, yeah. I think that's just kind of the environment that they train in. I think a lot of most New Zealanders are like that as well. Like, you'd find a lot through all the juniors. Most of them are pretty good at not giving up, so.
Well, folks, for those of you who are listening in around the world, we're also online with Luamba Chileshe, and he's not quite with us. We're in Auckland, he's in Manchester, and these matches have been played at SquashXL, and it is the final of the first week of the Unsquashable Premier League. Luamba, I bet you wished you were here so you could actually play this match, don't you?
Yeah. I do wish I was at home right now. Can't say that I'd be in the final, but...
Oh. You've got to give yourself a bit of credit. And another thing, have you seen what Paul Cole's been putting out online, all of his fitness exercises, etc.? He's challenged you a couple of times.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen some of the stuff he's been posting. Yeah, I think it's, I saw one of the workouts he posted for the Sky Sport Home Advantage, which is really good. But I think he's definitely one of the players you want to be watching. Doing that sort of stuff, I think he's got quite the knowledge with, how the body works, and I think having that knowledge is quite key in this situation, in terms of being able to come up with some good circuits and some exercise, especially squash specific. So if anyone's struggling with looking at struggling with some workouts, some home circuits, definitely go check out Paul Cole. He's got a few online. I think he's got a few on his Instagram, and a few on YouTube as well. So it's definitely someone you will be looking out for during these times. So, yeah.
Well, Luamba Chileshe, we'll come back to you in just a moment as we continue with the second game of the grand final. And just as we say continue, he wraps it up. Tenwa Chileshe wraps up that second game, and 2 games to love up. And that's the grand final of the Unsquashable Premier League. And we've been speaking to Luamba Chileshe, the older brother of Tenwa, who's got that lead. And Luamba has been, in fact, he still is in Manchester, waiting for things to clear up. And Luamba, how is your fitness? Has your physique changed? Has your speed changed? What's happened with you with all the fitness you've been doing?
To be honest, it's quite hard to tell. I would say I'm definitely probably a lot fitter in terms of base fitness, because I've been doing a lot of long running. But I think speed-wise, I don't think I'm going to be as fast as I was back when I was playing. Even with all the circuits I've been doing, I definitely think I would have lost a little bit of strength, a bit of explosiveness. So
Well, it's
Yeah,
always
it's,
going to...
it's quite hard to tell until you kind of get on court and start moving around. So yeah.
Well, it's always going to take a little while to get back into match practice anyway, as these players have understood and seen over the last 3 days. You can practice all you want with your fitness, but it's match play that really comes into it.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
All right, well, we're about to get underway with the third game. Tenwa Chileshe taking the first two. Let's see what happens in the third. We'll come back to Luamba Chileshe very shortly. We're back into the third game. It is a couple of games, the first two to Tenwa Chileshe. And as we enter the third, Joel Arscott's got the first couple of points. Tenwa had a messy semi-final yesterday against Anthony Lepper, whereas Joel Arscott's was a little bit more of a constructive match and a constructive win. But so far in this match, Tenwa looking pretty good. He's got the first two. And let's see what's happening here in New Zealand. We have had the courts open. All squash courts are allowed to open in New Zealand a couple of days ago. And you're allowed to have competitive play as long as the gatherings are kept to a minimum. Around about 10 is the maximum. Right, well, into the middle parts of the third game with Tenwa Chileshe winning the first two and joined by Luamba Chileshe, who is in Manchester. And Luamba, we've still got you there. You're having your morning coffee?
Yeah, just finished the morning coffee.
Good stuff.
So yeah, wide awake now.
All right, good stuff. And watching live, you've been impressed by your brother so far, where he's managed to keep things efficient in the first two games, although this third one a little bit tighter so far.
Yeah, he's done well this game, with this match, so I definitely think Joel's been caught by surprise a little bit, based off Tenwa's last two matches having bad starts, so it's going to be interesting to see how he adapts.
There are not too many unforced errors from Tenwa so far in this match. And a good all-court rally this one, and well played there from Joel Arscott.
I'm actually, I'm going to take credit for Tenwa's performance here, because I was scolding him yesterday for his high boast every second shot. Haven't really seen anything so far, so I think that was my coaching yesterday after his match against Anthony.
Yeah, okay, so you've been there, done that. Well, he has given you a bit of credit a couple of days ago. He said it was great growing up and seeing you play. And I think now he just wants to beat you.
We had a few battles back in our junior days, and he is ready to come back and try and get the win against me.
All right, well, Luamba, Chileshe, Louis in the UK and Manchester, back with you in just a moment. We'll let you continue and get a few more gulps of your coffee for just a few moments as this match continues. A slight difference here in the third game. Nice touch there by Joel Arscott. And just upped his tempo a little bit. Temwa making a couple of errors and Joel forcing the errors. And Temwa, of course, taking out the first two games. We've been speaking to his brother, Luamba Chileshe, on the phone from Manchester. It's now 8-7 to Joel Arscott in this, the third game. These two players do live on site here at SquashXL, and now in the grand final, and shaping up to a big winner, but nice skills. So finally, Joel Arscott does have the advantage here where he can see what he can do with it. He's got the 2-point buffer, up 9-7. Feel free to make any comments on the performance of the players, but it's been good listening in and hearing from Luamba Chileshe as well. So 10-7 at his game point, back with Luamba Chileshe in just a moment. We'll see whether Joel Arscott can wrap up this game and take it into a fourth. In fact, he can. Not quite there, actually. A little bit a step ahead. I had the advantage there, his first game ball, but a stroke couldn't quite get out of the way of that one in time. And if we have any thoughts there for anybody watching, we don't mind you having some thoughts on the refereeing and whether things, whether shots are a let or a stroke. We're happy for that. We'll be hearing from Luamba very shortly. And so far, Joel Arscott has had a couple of advantages, a couple of balls to win the game. And now back with Luamba Chileshe as well. And Luamba, you've seen that. Joel Arscott taking out the third game, 11-8. A couple of calls, but that's the way it is in squash. Everybody wants the call to go their way. But he managed to get it on, in the end, second or third point there for Joel Arscott.
Yeah, it's a bit better. Seems like he's fired up a bit.
Yeah, a bit more. Yeah.
For a treat of a match, yeah.
Exactly. Well, these two guys know each other so well. You think they're going to be...
comments ain't great cool.
Yeah. It's, these guys know each other so well. I mean, did you ever get sick of playing one particular player a lot?
Yeah, I played Joel quite a lot in training, but I also played him a lot in tournaments. But also, I played Anthony Lepper heaps. I think it was last year, or it might have been the year before. I probably played him about 5 or 6 times in 1 year.
Yeah, you get to know someone's game so well that it kind of makes you feel like, oh no, not again, even if you are winning.
Yeah, exactly. And it is a weird feeling, especially if it's the week after. So if you played them the week before and then you have to play them again the next week, it almost feels it's a really weird feeling.
So, it is what it is. Yep.
Just a thought for you, Luamba, when or if things do get back to relative normal, which may be for you in August, I guess, when we may have some tournaments, what's your goal for the rest of the year, if that's the way things go?
It's quite hard to say because of tournaments and stuff. So I'm hoping. I guess one of my goals will just be to just get some tournaments and just hope that there's some tournaments on and play as many as I can. It's going to be interesting to see where the tournaments are based and if I'm going to be able to get there. I see there's a few tournaments in Australia towards the end of the year which I might end up going to, so that would be quite cool. Obviously depends on and stuff, but
Well,
I'll just be happy to get back into the squash scene, get back on the tour and play some tournament.
Well, it's one of those things that international travel, whether it's for a sport like squash or tennis, is just going to be so difficult getting in and out of a country, let alone on the court and actually playing.
Yeah, exactly. I'm hoping there's going to be a few good tournaments over here in England.
Well, at the moment, Louis, you're pretty good at multitasking, aren't you? You're able to type a comment, talk to me, and hold the phone all at the one time, so well done, and drink coffee. That's pretty good multitasking. You're learning that quite well.
Yeah, learn that from my mum. Helen.
Good stuff. All right, well, let's have a look at this fourth game. And what do the players need to do? What does Team 1 need to do to actually take out this fourth game?
Well, it looks like he's got quite a good start. I think he just needs to stay solid and stay on top of the rally. Try and show Joel that he's not backing down. And I think it's going to be interesting to see if Joel can come back from this. As we saw in the last game, he was a bit more fired up and a bit more up his intensity a little bit, but he seems to have dropped back into a shell and he's kind of letting Timor dominate the tee and get in front. So yeah, for Timor just needs to stay in front, just keep doing what he's doing, not give Joel anything, just build off his lead.
And nice touch there, just changing the pace in this particular rally. And Heather Finlay just saying, let's just get on. For you, Luamba, age 23, is that correct? And a viewer said that you're 23 years old. Is that correct?
No, I'm 21 years old currently.
That's what I thought. Well, it's been quite interesting because this tournament, the older...
I think he was talking about right. Yeah.
Right, yep.
So, yeah. 23.
just letting the players discuss with the umpire, with the referee, how they feel, as a good solid lead to Tenwa Chileshe. We'll come back to you in just a moment, Luamba, and maybe near the end of this match, well, maybe going into a fifth. We'll come back to you in just a moment. We're at 1-8 at the moment. Another big lead that Tenwa Chileshe was able to get out to. And a few disputed calls, but I guess that happens when you're down and you're trying to force your way back into the match. Oh, and the error there. So 2-8. And both of these players live on site. Nice play forward there. That is something that Joel loves to do. Don't forget, these players both have PSA rankings. Nice touch. Good recovery. And remembering that Joel Arscott does have a PSA ranking of 235. Tenwa Chileshe 337, winning his first satellite tournament earlier this year. That was at Eden Epsom in Auckland, the PSA satellite there. And a mini comeback so far for Joel Arscott, back to a 4-8. We've had 3 previous exciting games so far today. So Tenwa Chileshe just 2 points away from a win. And in fact, 1 point. And Luamba Chileshe, it's got to be good for both these players, but they must know what's going to happen each time a player is ready for a shot. They're just so used to each other, aren't they? There you go. Congratulations there to Tenwa Chileshe. And Luamba, you with me in the UK in Manchester? Your brother taking out this first tournament, and good news for him there?
Yeah, it was good. I think you should be happy with that. He obviously made a few improvements from his last 2 matches. And Joel just didn't really have the intensity there at the right time. But I'm sure these guys will have a few more battles in the weeks to come. It's good to see the little bro taking it out. So well done, Tenwa.
God, that was the referee Heather Finlay saying hi to you, Luamba.
Come back, I miss you.
And then saying, come back, she misses you. She wants you to be an assistant referee, I think.
You need to come over here, Heather.
Oh, I've been, though. Time for another trip, I think.
There you go.
Yeah.
This is very live, folks. We're in a couple of different countries as speaking to Luamba Chileshe. And Luamba, just finally, Before we let you go and carry on with your coffee and whatever training you've got going on, there's a lot of people who want to keep in touch with you, and you have some social media that they can contact you or say hello that they can go. You've got a Instagram handle?
Yep, so my Instagram, I actually have 2 Instagrams. So the first one is Louis Chileshe, so Lui, and then Chileshe. And then my squash Instagram is Luamba Chileshe Squash. So give that a search. And then my Facebook is just Luamba Chileshe, so feel free to message me on Instagram or Facebook.
All right.
Happy to hear from you guys.
Great stuff. Thank you very much there, Luamba, and we'll let you get back to your coffee and maybe some fitness, and hopefully you can get outside and really then eventually get onto the court as well. And good news there for your brother winning this, the first Unsquashable Premier League, and appreciate your time. Cheers, mate.
Thanks, Dave.